Philadelphia, PA is a city rich in history and full of stories. Stories of passionate people who have true grit. From the fight for our nation's independence to a fight for the American dream, being tough is woven into the fabric of the Philadelphia story. A few miles away lives a man who has another epic tale.
Boy, let's get this gym work in.
Fighter Buddy Osborn.
I was born and raised in Philadelphia and raised in the city of Kensington, right in this area. Kensington was always really a tough area. Men knew how to fight. Two men would just bare knuckle and just get it on, and it would be okay. You wouldn't have the killings that you have today.
Buddy was a rebel when he was young. His nature combined with the raucous neighborhood of Kensington provided just the right mix for the making of a fighter.
I had 90 amateur fights. I was rated in the top 10 when I was a boxer. I was 165 pounds, middleweight. Tough as nails, they would say.
Come on, get on top. When he stopped and punt, that's when you got out of level.
His boxing career started at the age of 13, and by 16, Buddy was considered one of the best fighters in the ring. He would win the Pennsylvania State Golden Gloves title just 3 years later, before eventually retiring at the age of 22.
You know, when you're in Kensington, I said this many, many years ago, you either become a roofer, a police officer, or a priest, or a convict, too. Became a chaplain, a roofer, and I served time in prison.
Life after boxing wasn't kind to Buddy. A work scandal would land a harsh blow that Buddy didn't see coming. It would have long-lasting effects that would change the course of his life forever.
There were 18 people indicted and 3 people held pretrial detention, meaning that they were held out as a menace to society, a threat to the community, that they did not want them out. They wanted to keep in pretrial detention. I was one of the 3. Who would have thought that?
Convicted roofer Mark Osborn is with us live from his home in Northeast Philadelphia, where he is literally under house arrest. Did you pay off a police officer?
Did I pay off? Absolutely not.
Jury said you did. You correct me if I'm wrong. I hear you justifying what you did as opposed to saying, I made a big mistake and I'm sorry for it. I hear you saying, I did this because it's a dirty job and roofing's a dirty job and union organizing is a dirty job and people don't understand it. I don't hear you saying, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what? I'm going to be incarcerated for up to 8 years. What do I have to look for when I get out? Not my job.
Illegal activity by city officials led to a federal investigation and several arrests. Buddy was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison on racketeering charges.
Do you have to change? Do you see anything in your life that you need to change?
There's always improvement in everyone's life.
So a lady wrote me a letter when I was in there. And she said to me, she says, Buddy, Jesus has you in the palm of his hand. And I didn't understand what that meant completely. And it wasn't until, as I started to read scripture in there, I said, you know what? He really does. He has a purpose and a plan for my life. I didn't understand it at the time. I had competed 90 times in amateur fights, traveled the United States boxing team, represent 13 times, was slated for the 1980 Olympics. I had a background in boxing and being tough. But it wasn't until I got out of prison 3 years later that I realized I still had that void. It was a very interesting time in my life, but I would never trade it or change it because of what I've learned from it. And now I'm living it in this community.
He would return home to Kensington looking for a fight. But this was a fight to make an eternal difference.
I left here when I was 26, Kensington, and I came back when I was 45 with a Bible and a gym bag and a couple boxing gloves. If I think back, it was like, go back into the place where you were raised and train kids, but do a Bible study. And that's how it happened. So when we started, within 1 month, we had a Bible study right here. And while we were having the Bible study, there was gunfight out, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, we're in the right spot. We are in the right spot.
Just a few blocks away from the house where he grew up, Buddy's vision would come to life. His goal? To reach inner city kids for Christ through boxing.
Come on, quick. Do it again, come on.
The Rock Ministries of Philadelphia was founded in 2003 and provides activities like grappling, kickboxing, homework club, life skills, and so much more.
And when a kid walks through this door, I know everything that they've been through, that they're going through, that they're going to go through. Finish strong, last round. 9 out of 10 kids come in to this door have no father figure in their life. We have homeless kids right now. That's why we're building 2 homes right now for young men. We've seen over 8,000 kids come through our doors. We've seen so many kids come in, so many kids leave. And you know what they see? Consistency on our part. We haven't changed. We get older, we lose our hair, we get heavier, but the message stays the same. The message stays the same.
Forever the fighter, Buddy doesn't plan on quitting until that final bell.
I'm 56 years old, and I can't wait. I feel like I'm just getting started. Perfect. It's like I'm not tired. I just enjoy what I do, and I want to keep doing more, you know? Here we go, 1, 2. It's fun for me. See, I often tell people it's not how you start, but how you finish. And I want to finish strong for Christ.